remember now, at this time in the vision, I'm over 45. So now, let's continue. And I will interpret it as I go, what I'm seeing. And I say this, take hold that you understand, listener, what I say. My dreams and my visions are true. None shall come back void of what I say to the listeners of my words on these DVDs. I am Lee, the teacher. I prayed for the Comforter, and it came to me and still does, and I am like in Ezekiel chapter 33. When I'm shown a thing, my talent, I won't hide it, or I'll lose my life. I will spread my talent and try to save my life. And this is why I show you my dream as Daniel and Joseph that was taken into captivity in Egypt, sold into captivity. I as them and I as Ezekiel am showing you the interpretation of prophecy. Now, getting back to the two canisters on the left, I was not allowed to go into those canisters, but I was allowed to understand what those canisters were. And I was explained and told this way. It was placed into my head. Those canisters are where the evil and the dead go. They will be cast once the completion of the writing and the library is full, and there's no more room in the book of life, in that library on the right, in those canisters. The wicked shall go to the left in those canisters and be rolled up like a straw and thrown into outer darkness. Every soul that was evil and blasphemed the word of Adonai would be placed in those canisters and rolled up like a straw and thrown into complete outer darkness, never to be found again. Now, after I was shown this, I was placed gently back onto this path in this valley, which was the world. And I was in the midst of the valley on this road. And all of a sudden, after being shown these things, I noticed that there was a wheel. Excuse me. At this time I wondered. When I looked up, I saw this wheel inside of a wheel, and I saw this rod coming from this craft into this center wheel, which turned the outer wheel of this craft. But yet still it had no motor. But the wheels were turning. The inner wheel turned to the right, and the outer wheel with teeth connected to the inner wheel was turning to the left. I said to myself, when the voice of the angel of these eyes knew that, I said, this is impossible. How can a gear on an inner wheel with teeth connected to the outer wheel with teeth, how can it turn to the right and the outer wheel is turning to the left when they're connected together? This was impossible. I said, this can't be done this way. Not with two wheels. And I also wondered at the same time, how is this craft moving with such accurate speed? I said, how are you moving with no motor, and how is that rod that's connected to this craft and connected to those wheels which make you go forward? I asked this angel, this voice that showed me these things of these eyes, how is this possible that this rod can turn when it's not even touching the craft? And it's in the center of the inner wheel, turning it to the right. And how is it possible that the outer wheel is turning to the left, but yet still it's pushing the craft? And then I was shown something, and I was understanding the power of God when the eye and the voice of those eyes explained to me, placing it in my head this way. The rod. Remember I told you about the lightning rod in the cloud of my mother? That was a rod too. Now this rod that was turning the wheel, pushing the craft, this rod is what makes this craft go. I said, and I asked the voice, how does it make it go with no motor? And it explained to me by word. I say, by word, by the word of the 7 eyes which control this craft. By their power, the rod makes this craft goes. The power was in the rod. And I said, what be the rod? The rod is the word of Adonai. All the power is in the rod of Adonai. And it makes the wheels turn. And there was more to come. I said, well, let me ask this, all power. I stated, all power, answer me this. What make the power of that outer wheel turn left different from the inner wheel connected with the outer wheel turn right? How is this possible? And what be these teeth? I asked him. Why are these teeth connected? They seem to be fighting against each other. One's trying to go left, and one wheel is going right. How is this possible? And then the voice made me see and understand what I was being shown. The interwheel and the teeth were the people that were going to heaven, that would be with God. The outer wheel was struggling against going. They wanted to go to the wheel of the left, which was the wrong way. They wanted, their wheel was go the wrong way. The inner wheel was, and the teeth were of people wanted to go the right way. And their power was given to them by the power of that rod. And sooner or later, that wheel and those 2 canisters on the left of that craft would be mingled and thrown into outer darkness forever and ever, never to be found again. And I was devastated. I was shown the power that there was nothing impossible with the word of Adonai, and that he is the rod of salvation, he is the rod of truth. And again, while I stood there, after being shown and explained what the craft was, who it was, who owned those eyes, they never tired, day or night. They never got tired. They saw, and gathered, wrote, and place. Book of life in the right, the book of everlasting damnation in the canisters on the left. This is what I was allowed to see that would happen. And it's true. Hear my sayings. My dreams are true, listeners. They are true, and you will see them before you go. That I don't lie. I speak with manna. Now, while standing there, I understood the vision, and there was one more vision in my dream, of this dream and vision, before I would be placed again into my body in my bed in Washington State, in Lakewood, Washington. I was allowed to see this also. The craft that I saw, it was one craft. It took off. After showing me these things, it took off with strength and smooth power strength, like no strength in the universe. No strength was like this. No gravity pull. No explosions of atoms. Nothing with the power of this craft, the way it was moving. And it was, remember, it was a third the size of the earth. And it headed east. And all of a sudden it started coming back and forth, round and round and round. It just kept coming. And then I noticed something. Here comes fright. More misunderstanding. I saw a same identical craft coming from the east going west at the identical same speed. Now I'm standing in this crosswalk. Remember remember I told you when I was lifted up, I was placed in the middle like an X or like a cross.